welcome to The Real Deal with me, Bapelile Sambo, and thank you for watching. Now, with the recent cases that have been reported about racism, it seems like South Africa is battling to move on after 2 decades of democracy. Others think that we are moving on, while others think that it's a scar that wouldn't heal. Now, in studio, I have 2 guests who agree that we are moving on, while the other one thinks that, you know what, South Africa is just on a standstill. Lebogang Molefe is a communications officer at KMPG, and Temba Musiza is a writer at Elle Magazine. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Now, Temba, you saying that South Africa is moving on, that, you know what, some are just don't want to move on practically. What is your opinion on that?
Well, I think that, as a country, we've came a long way, né? And people believe that just because they think that we were in a standstill, they say it because it's only what they can see. But I believe that we've moved on from, the times where whites were white people and were respected and we were being regarded as, the kings and bigger people. Now we at a point where everyone is equal and we treated equally.
I was disagreeing with you.
Definitely. I mean, you can still see the fact that a white man is considered to be superior than the black lady. I mean, you can see this even, just the other day I went to Home Affairs and a white lady was given preference over me. There is still superior over white people. I think we won't even get over it. I mean, look at what's happening at America. You get black policemen being shot. Because of what? Just because you're black? No, we're still in the apartheid era, if I must say.
So, Lebo, you are a communications officer. How is it like there at the working environment in KMPG?
Come to think of it, it actually took me about 7 years to even become an intern. I mean, look at KPMG is a big chartered accountants company where you would expect to get white board members. There's only about 2 black, black guys.
I believe that L is dominated mostly by white people. How do you manage?
Well, I believe that racism is all in the mind. If you tell yourself that I'm living in a racist country, it's what is going to happen to you. As the greats have said, that whatever that you think and whatever that you believe is what it's going to be. So I believe in, working as a person. I believe that we all people. And if you go into an environment saying that I'm going to be treated differently, this company is predominantly white, as she said, I'm not going to get an internship because I'm black, you're not going to get it because it's what you believe. And at L, it was not really hard for me to get in because I believed in myself and my work spoke for me. I had to work hard for me to get there. And besides me being black, I believe that if you work hard for something, you're going to get it, whether you're black or not.
See the mentality with white people, if I must say, it's because they think they're superior. Why would you see another human being as being a troublemaker? It's the same thing that happened with Penny Sparrow calling people monkeys, because you've got the thing that you're superior than them, so then you can belittle them. You see, it's that mentality that white people have of the other person, that you go out and shoot them because they're different from your skin color. You've got, who's this guy that recently came onto the news saying he doesn't have the same blood as black people? Like, you've got blood type O, you've got blood type A and AB. Well, what do you mean you don't have the same blood type
But
as
what
the
I'm
other
basically
person.
saying is that we tend to, focus more on what white people are saying about us. There are many black people who say bad things about white people, and we don't really focus on them because why? Because they're black. If I now say that a white person is a pig, it's not going to be taken seriously because why? Maybe they don't take it as serious as we do. The minute that we change our minds and start to focus on the good things that are happening in the country is when we're going to be able to see that there's so much more to life than focusing on another person being racist. And it's not all white people who are racist.
With perpetrators like Penny Sparrow, she got a fine. Do you think that it's okay? Do you think that maybe South Africa's justice system can do more with that? But before you answer that, I'd like us to go on a break, but do keep the conversation going on our Twitter and Facebook pages at The Real Deal.
Why do I only have 2 cheese grillers on my plate?
It was Mr. Carlos. Don't say anything.
But Dad, Mr. Carlos is a vegetarian. He wouldn't do that.
Yes, today Mr. Carlos was a vegetarian, but then
This guy.
Order a Fresh Start breakfast for only $39.90 and get 3 mini cheese grillers, crispy bacon, 2 eggs, hash browns, delicious cherry tomatoes, and a priceless wimpy moment.
Enjoy every moment.
There was a point where I had dark marks and patches. Well, you can't just remove them from the surface. Where I treat them on the inside.
Formulated by the Pond's Institute, Pond's Perfect Color Complex is specially designed for African skin. It helps remove dark marks and patches from deep inside to leave your skin beautifully even-toned and matte on the outside.
Goodbye, dark marks and patches. Now nothing can hold me back.
Get even-toned matte skin. That's the Pond's promise.
Now, before the break, I asked the question, what should be done to perpetrators like Penny Sparrow and Mr. Andre? What do you think should be done, then?
Babili, I don't think there is something that is enough that can be done to, to make someone get over the fact that somebody is being racist to you. I mean, okay, fine. I think the fine could be paid, but I do not think it could be enough, because that thing is actually painful to have somebody who is inferior than you, to think that somebody thinks they way better than you. It's actually quite painful. I mean, the only thing that could be done is to just have people not think they're superior than the other person. Money cannot make up for what Penny did, calling people monkeys. I mean, just last week on Speak Out, we had Spa. We had the manager from Robindale in Randburg Spa. He's treating his employees so badly. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I did.
His employee actually collapsed because she didn't have the right equipment to go into the fridge. So she collapsed. And the guy just literally said, take her outside, the ambulance will fetch her outside. And since then, the guy hasn't even been to the hospital to see.
To check up on the
His
patient.
exactly.
I think Temba could elaborate more on that, because you're saying racism is okay. You're saying that South Africa is failing to move on.
I never said that racism is okay.
Okay.
What I said was that South Africans need to move on to not
Focus on
taking
other
themselves as
things.
victims all the time. And I think it's wrong. I agree with the fact that it's wrong, because even if it was done by a black person, it would have been wrong. I don't think it has anything to do with race. The person just maybe doesn't have a heart.
We have a recording of Mr. Andre, who's the owner of Sodwana Guest House, who recently made comments about black people. Let's quickly listen to that.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I have no idea what you're talking
about. It's very weird. We don't have any phone calls for how many months in a row, and then suddenly one day we have so many blacks phoning us for accommodation after we.
So is the fact that I'm black the only thing that you're hearing? I'm asking for accommodation. You're telling me I'm black. What does my color have to do with that?
What has it got to do with it? Is that we don't accommodate you?
So you don't accommodate black people?
No.
Not at all. What's wrong with black people again, Andre?
Well, we have to restore what is happening in the world right now, and everything in the hierarchy of the world is wrong.
Oh, so the fact that black people are accommodated with white people means that the hierarchy is all wrong.
Coming back to you, Lebo, I'm assuming that this is painful to hear such comments.
Exactly. You see, this is the exact thing that makes me say that white people are still racist. How can you say that? How can you say that about another human being? I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm black. The fact is, and then you still have people. Why does it matter that? Do you think I'm gonna mess up your shit just because I'm black? Like, yeah, South Africans are still stuck up. Are you still calling
what
that
I'm
recording
saying is
stuck
that,
up?
Name. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that racism is not here. I'm not saying that racism does not exist. What I'm saying is that we tend to focus more on what white people say. I believe that there are many black people who are
But
as
he's
racist.
saying it. He said it on the recording.
Sorry.
He does not want black people in his hotel.
Exactly.
So is that
What I'm
how
saying-
is that in any way in a black person's mind? Because he says it himself.
What I said again. She's not listening clearly. What I said is that, Name, I'm not saying that white people are not racist. I'm saying that racism is not only on white people. And as black people, we tend to focus more on what white people say. We need to move on. We need to get to a point where a person being racist to you doesn't bother you. You understand? There are many lodges out there. There are many hotels that you can book as a black person supporting another person who's not going to be racist at you. I believe that there are other places who are even nicer than the one that she was trying to book. You understand?
But then you see, the thing is, we do not want racism to be there. We don't want it to be there. We don't want it to, you can't say you want somebody to be racist to you and then you don't take it into mind. We just don't want it to be there. Why must racism be there?
Racism has been happening on a global scale right now. With our next guest, Nompumelo Nkosi, we'll be explaining it further after the break.
There was a point where I had dark marks and patches. Well, you can't just remove them from the surface. You've got to treat them on the inside.
Formulated by the Pond's Institute, Pond's Perfect Color Complex is specially designed for African skin. It helps remove dark marks and patches from deep inside to leave your skin beautifully even-toned and matte on the outside.
Goodbye, dark marks and patches. Now nothing can hold me back.
Get even-toned matte skin. That's the Pond's promise.
Welcome back to The Real Deal. With my next guest is a beautiful lady who is originally from South Africa but recently moved to the USA. Now she's going to tell how's the situation there?
The situation in America is very volatile right now. The blacks have decided to fight back the whites. 5 policemen have been shot, white policemen of course, by black people. Black people are protesting all over America with the hashtag Black Lives Matter.
So with your situation, because you are from South Africa, not originally from America, how are you treated?
I can't say I'm treated very differently from everyone else, but yeah, there are times where, like, when people hear my name, where am I from, and then when they hear that I'm from South Africa, being African of course, they tend to change the way they treat me at times. Yes.
So, but are you making any plans to move back here?
Yes, definitely. After the Dallas saga and everything that is happening in America right now, I am thinking of relocating back to South Africa, my home country, where I know that, yes, there's racism, but it's not as much as in America. Yes, it's totally.
Thank you for coming. It is clear that racism still exists, and it's an issue that we'll be talking about in the next coming years. Thank you for listening, and thank you for joining us at The Real Deal. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. My name is keneillwe, and